World Bee Day, B-E-E. Like honeybees? Yeah, World Bee Day. Now, not every crop that we talk about relies on bees to pollinate. Many of them are able to pollinate without the help of bees. But anyway, pretty important for those crops that we need them on, right? World Bee Day. Hope you don't get stung. Are the markets stinging a bit? Let's start with the corn market. And yeah, it does kind of sting. $4.87 a bushel on this December contract. It's down 10 3/4 cents. Let's look at it from a 5-day perspective. And you can kind of see that sting here. We're falling to levels we haven't seen since last Friday. And that was somewhat of an anomaly because nobody heard any of the details out of the Trump-Xi meeting about ag. And so we had that big sell-off. And then we built back up. Well, we're pulling back, and 487.5. We're down 10 1/4. Let's stick with this 5-day look. Kind of like it. Soybeans. We're trading at 11.94 1/4. It's down 8 3/4 cents. And again, we're coming off of where we've been the last couple of sessions. And then we go over to the wheat market. We'll go back to the big board now. And Chicago wheat, July, is 8.5 lower, 658 3/4. Hard red is trading down 5 3/4, 698. And the cotton market is lower for the second straight session, 82.85. It's down 31. He's the director of global research for CHS Market Advisors, Ken Zuckerberg. And Ken, you know, we go back to that sell-off that we had on Friday was really tied to no news out of China. But prior to that, we've been trading things like Iran and maybe inflation.
Tony, we have probably 3 or 4 eyes that we could talk about today, right? Iran, inflation, interest rates. I don't want to say insanity, but certainly volatility. Let me cover them one at a time, and we can go into any more details if you'd like. So, first and foremost, the Iran headlines back and forth about certain chips moving out of the Strait of Hormuz, followed by some additional discussion and comments from the Trump administration on potential peace. I think we all know we need to see the definitive before we count our chickens there. Or second, on inflation, Tony, last week we had some hot prints on inflation, both CPI and PPI. That's the consumer and producer respectively were quite hot. And then finally, that leads into interest rates. And if you pull up the 30-year Treasury bond, or just look at indication of where bond markets are trading, that 30-year is at a level that we haven't seen in about 20 years. So markets are certainly concerned about some of the current events.
And again, when we go back to just talking Iran for a moment, this is something we had no idea if it would be a few days, a few months, how long this thing's lasting. Do we have any indication how long this could last? And then once we wrap up, what's the tail on this thing?
Well, let me tell you what we think and how we're thinking about it, right? When this initially happened, there was a lot of talk that this will be short-lived. Same commentary when Russia invaded Ukraine initially. Remember that? It was, this will be done in a week. Well, we had a lot of very smart energy folks talking about the possibility of 4 weeks or longer. And here we are going into several months, right? So the question to ask is, why aren't energy prices higher, and why isn't the curve much higher, the contracts that price out a few months? I think there's still optimism that peace negotiations will take place. There will be there will be some pressure release. The pressure release valve will happen. That being said, the EIA results today showed a dramatic, again, cut in inventories, and I think we have to be very, very cautious about the ripple effects. So It's hard to assume, but if we assume that there is some level of peace negotiation and normalization of the Strait of Hormuz, that's part one. Part two is, okay, what's happening with global supply demand? And if the global economy holds, there will still be demand for oil, which could, put the price up as we get back to normalization. Tony, how long will it take for normalization in energy markets? If I knew that, I'd be in Monaco right now, but I don't.
Well, and if I knew it, I'd be behind you in Bryant Park probably. Ken, great to
Excellent.
see you. Ken Zuckerberg is with CHS Market Advisors. Quick break, back with more markets on Market Day Report.